Money and awards. Everyone wants them. No award, no money. This is one of the reasons the history of science nonfiction books is relatively interesting. The amount of science nonfiction writing has waxed and waned over the years because of just that, the money and the awards. When do you think the first book award was given to a writer of science nonfiction? 1980? 1970? Surprise! 1922 is the year that Hendrik Wilhelm van Loon won an award for his book titled The Story of Mankind. This book is different from the colorful books that you find in your classroom. Many kids would toss it aside in exchange for a book about a big, colorful butterfly or a story about a young student creating a secret rocket ship. It wasn't until after the 1970s that a science nonfiction book stepped once again onto the red carpet. Kathleen Horning, in her book From Cover to Cover, claims that science nonfiction books had a hard time winning awards. Ms. Horning suggests that one of the reasons is that the government halted funding for libraries to buy science nonfiction books. Well, believe it or not, even sweet old librarians have something in common with cutthroat businessmen. Go where the money flows. Since there was no funding for science nonfiction, the librarians couldn't stock the library with them. The 1970s brought a turning point for this dilemma. Milton Meltzer wrote an essay entitled Where Do All the Prizes Go? A Case for Nonfiction. And since then, in the mid-1980s, several science nonfiction books won awards. Maybe the book committees noticed their oversight, or maybe the authors noted that this was the chance to dive into something novel. Whichever the origin, within a 4-year span, 4 science nonfiction books received honors from the Newbery Committee. A prideful and surprising note for our class, 3 out of 4 of these authors were women. Let us not forget that the illustrators of these books were the cause of much of the fame. From Cover to Cover points out that there were 2 reasons the science nonfiction books may have shined. First, authors and publishers finally concluded that American readers preferred books with pictures. And because printing technology could produce vibrant, clear photos, the books were much more pleasing to the eye of readers. Novel ideas became evident when books like Magic School Bus combined fiction and fact throughout the book. Science nonfiction author Jean Fritz studies tirelessly to uncover quotes from her real-life characters and builds the stories around facts. Another change was that science nonfiction books were being written for especially young children, encouraging society to take another look at science. It can be colorful, it can be vibrant, and it can be fun, just like the books. Parents and children alike began to notice science nonfiction as an interesting genre. Few of these books, however, were still recognized by the Newbery Award, though a few more were honored by the Caldecott. In 1990 and 2001, the Orbis Pictus Award for Outstanding Nonfiction for Children and the Robert F. Siebert Informational Book Medal were established. Perhaps these awards increased the potential funding for books. The Everything Guide to Informational Texts by Deborah Lee suggests that the colorful and vibrant nonfiction should be termed the new nonfiction, since it bears little resemblance to its boring old forefather, old books with small print and very few illustrations. Nonfiction trade books became popular with the general public and sold really well in bookstores. Education books followed suit. Now every page in a science text includes images to engage readers and colorful diagrams to bring the context to life. Educational publishers offer teachers suggestions for interactive read-alouds, large books for class reading, and decodable texts that have images to help our students comprehend. Science nonfiction books offer teachers and students tools to understand science through interesting type and detailed images. Take a look at what we have now. Advancements in technology, one-to-one student personal devices, apps available at the touch of a finger. All of these allow students to interact with their science nonfiction books. It's exciting to imagine what might come next.